very easily in a lesson if I want to draw a set of axes for mathematics, or a table for English or history, or even, I'll put in a new page, a sort diagram, a spider diagram. So a simple spider diagram, there's the spider's body, and I can draw perfect straight lines coming off it. So large numbers of things that I can do very easily and very usefully just with some pens. Let me just go on to a next page and let's have a look at what else we can do. With my IntelliPen we've discovered that I can draw shapes. I can also colour in these shapes very easily. My select button will give me a menu. So around the edge of the shape you have the marquee, which means that I can move it, resize it, etc. My object menu here will allow me to lock the shape into place if I want to move things under and over it. I can create a hyperlink from the shape. I can delete the shape. Or, by going into its object properties, I'll just move that away from the shape for a second, I can do things like fill it with a different colour, so I now have a blue one. I can change the line colour. I can change the style of the line outside. I can change this in any way that I want to. So I have a complete set of object properties here to give me any shape in any colour that I would like to have. Let's put in another page. Now, at the top, let me just pick up my pen again, and I'll use a blue pen this time. So, I want to write just a simple word on my screen, so I'm going to write the word tiger. So there's the word tiger. If I select the word tiger and go into my menu, you will see at the top it's got suggestions as to what I might have written. Its first suggestion, fortunately for my handwriting, is in fact tiger. So I'd like you to notice at this stage not just the suggestions at the top for the recognition of the handwriting, and you can put in your own suggestions and edit it, but also, I know it's difficult to notice negatives, but if you notice there is no mention at present of either Google or Wikipedia. So at the moment, my only choices are various hyperlinks and things, or handwriting recognition. I'm going to click the handwriting recognition, and here I have the word tiger. Now, what I can do with this, and as I say, this can be done in any software, is I can click the word tiger, and with this software particularly, I can search it in Google or Wikipedia. So let me just show you. Search in Google, it immediately finds Google and finds me pictures of tigers should I want them. So very simple to do. If I go back to that page, I'm going to go into my page list and find my page. I could also very simply turn it into a hyperlink. So just turning it into a hyperlink, it's going to ask me what sort of hyperlink I want, and I could make it to a web page, and then I would simply type in the address that I was looking for. So let me just type in a web address, http://www. I'll go for my home one, cambridge.org, O-R-G, and I've now got a hyperlink. So, in my lesson, if I want to refer to a particular page, I can hyperlink to it very quickly. So there's my hyperlink coming up. So a number of things that I can do. Now, obviously at home you don't have handwriting recognition. I think with most softwares, handwriting recognition is limited to use with the actual interactive board, and I have one attached to my computer as I'm speaking to you. But equally, it is possible in every software just to type things onto the page. So if I wanted just to type the word tiger in, all I've done here is use my keyboard, and I could use the on-screen keyboard just as easily, or even the Microsoft provided with Windows or the Mac keyboard. Use any keyboard that I wish to, and it will put the word onto my desktop. And very simply, I can move it, pick it up, move it, make it bigger, and look at all of its object properties. So here are some object properties, and if I wanted to change my font color, my font style, I could do it. If I wanted to change the type of font, let me change it into something very different so that you can actually see the difference. If we go for Comic Sans, you'll see the difference immediately. And I can set things as default. I can make things bold or italic. And as I say, with this one I do it through the toolbar. There are many other ways of using it, particularly A lot of the things that one can do with an interactive whiteboard are to do with hide and reveal techniques. So let's have a look and see what I mean by a hide and reveal technique. So I'm going to pick up a template. Templates or gallery as the usual phrase for this. And I'm going to pick up something very simple, which is a picture of a very simple plant. This could be done with one of your own documents or diagrams that you've imported. I'm taking it at a very basic level so that we don't complicate the technology that I'm showing you with very complicated diagrams. So here we have a very simple diagram of a plant. If I pick up a pen, and I'm going to pick up a white pen this time, if I pick up my white pen, I can very simply draw in white over those words. So all I've done is chosen a white pen and I've written over those, written in white, so just masked, if you like, with a line of white paint the words that I'm looking at. I can then pick up an ordinary coloured pen and I can ask my pupils what do they think is under the top label, and they will come up with suggestions. So words like flower will come up and words like petal will come up. You'll get all sorts of suggestions which you can discuss. Then, so we've done the hide part, which is covering it with white paint, I can do the erase part. So let's do the reveal. All I'm going to do is pick up the eraser, and as I run my eraser over it, the word reappears because I'm rubbing off the white paint. This can be done very effectively with a white pen, but I would put in one word of warning. I'm going to rub out the suggestions as well. If you're using a white pen, it can be very easy to leave it selected. So when you come to write on your next clean sheet, you're writing in white and you don't realise it. And at this point, people often think the board isn't working. So if it seems that you're writing and nothing is happening, it may well be that you have a white pen selected. To counteract this, I usually suggest to people that what they use instead is something colourful. So if I go for these lemons here, and we'll make it a nice width, so you need to choose the width so it is about the same as the height of the tallest letter you're covering. So somewhere around there is fine. So let's just have a little look. So here they're covered up, and you can see immediately where they're covered up. Also, if you leave this pen chosen in error, it's very simple to see because you'll be writing in a sort of lemon thread. So I'm going to pick up my eraser, and yet again you can see a hide and reveal technique working very simply. Now, let's see how else we could do this. A moment ago we looked at our intelligent pen and we drew some shapes with it. So let me just pick up my shapes, check my width, and I'm going to draw a small rectangle. So there's a small rectangle. I can change its shape slightly. I think I'd like it slightly thinner and possibly bring it out a little bit. Go to about there. That should cover most of those. And all I'm going to do with it very simply is go into its properties and fill it with colour. So let's fill it with red. I'm now going to just copy and paste it. I'm going to do that from my keyboard, so you won't see anything actually happening. I'm just going to press Ctrl-C, press Ctrl-V, and you can see one copy. The remaining copies will go in on top. So I've pressed Ctrl-V 3 times there, and now all I'm going to do is pick up my select key, and I've got another way of showing pupils the same problems. So all I'm doing is just masking out the labels of the diagram with rectangles. They can come up, write up their suggestions, I pick up my select key and I can remove them. And it can be done with something as simple as a flower diagram, something as complicated as a diagram of a chemical process, a set of chemical experiments, a historical map. It's a very powerful technique. So this is the basic hide and reveal technique, either just masking things out in a coloured pen or possibly masking things out in coloured rectangles. Other ways that this can be used, obviously with an interactive whiteboard, I can group things together. So what I'm going to do is put in a new sheet. I'm going to paste one of those little rectangles into it because it's still in copy, and I'm just going to make it into a much bigger rectangle. So I'm going to take it out to about here and make it much bigger. Now, another thing that